Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Hazrat Anas bin Malik radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam once dispatched Hazrat Ali bin Abi Talib radiallahu ta'ala anhu as commander of a battalion to fight a battle. Thereafter, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam sent a messenger with instructions to draw close to Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu with the message and not to call it out from a distance. The message was that he should not engage in battle until he had invited the enemy to Islam. Hazrat Ibn Rahway rahimahullah ta'ala narrates from Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam once sent him somewhere as commander of a battalion. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam then instructed another person to join up with Hazrat Ali and without calling him from behind tell him that the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam commands him to wait for him and that he should not fight anyone until he has invited them to accept Islam. Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu has also mentioned that when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam sent him, he said, "Never fight a nation until you have invited them to accept Islam." The narration of Hazrat Sahal bin Sa'ad radiallahu ta'ala anhu, as reported by Bukhari and others, has already passed, in which Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to Hazrat Ali during the Battle of Khaybar, "March at a moderate pace until you reach their field. Then invite them to accept Islam, explaining to them the rights due to Allah that are compulsory for them to fulfill. By Allah, if Allah uses you to guide even a single person, it is better for you than red camels." Hazrat Farwa bin Musayk radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that he came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and asked, "Should I not take those of my people who have progressed, that is, accepted Islam, to fight those of them who have not accepted Islam?" Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam replied, "Why not?" Hazrat Farwa radiallahu ta'ala anhu says, "I then had an afterthought and said, 'No, I shall be unable to fight them, for they are the people of Sabah and are extremely powerful and strong.' However, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam still made me the commander and instructed me to wage war against them. When I had left, Allah sent revelation to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam concerning the people of Sabah. He then said, 'Where is the Ghutafi person?' When Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam sent someone to my home, I had already left. The man sent me back and I appeared before Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When I came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I found him sitting with the sahaba radiallahu ta'ala anhum. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to me, 'Invite the people to Islam. Receive those who accept, but do not be hasty to do anything to those who do not accept until you hear from me.' Someone then asked, 'O Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what is Sabah? Is it a place or a woman?' Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam replied, 'Sabah was neither a place nor a woman. He was an Arab who had 10 sons. 6 of them settled in Yemen, and the other 4 settled in Sham. Those who settled in Sham and those who settled in Yemen.' Hazrat Khalid bin Said radiallahu ta'ala anhu reports that when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam dispatched him to Yemen, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to him, 'If you hear the azan being called out among any nation you meet, leave them alone. However, if you pass a nation and hear no azan from them, you should invite them to Islam.' Hazrat Ubay bin Ka'b radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that when some captives from Lat and Uzza were brought before Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he asked the Muslims who captured them, 'Did you invite them to accept Islam?' When they submitted that they had not, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked the captives, 'Did they invite you to accept Islam?' When they confirmed that no dawah was given to them, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam instructed, 'Free them so that they may reach their place of safety.' Thereafter, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam recited the following 2 extracts of the Quran. 'O Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we have certainly sent you as a witness who will bear testimony against the kuffar of all nations on the day of Qiyamah, a carrier of good news, a warner, and as a caller to Allah by His command, and an illuminating lantern.' Surah Ahzab, verses 45-46. This Quran has been revealed to me so that I may warn you with it, as well as to warn those whom it reaches after you. Do you, that is the mushrikeen, really bear witness that there are other gods with Allah? Say to them, O Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I bear no such witness. Say, Allah is but one Allah, and I am certainly innocent of the idols which you associate with Him. That is, I openly express my aversion to all types of shirk. Surah An'am, verse 19. Another narration states that when Rasulullah ﷺ dispatched a battalion to the vicinity where the idols of Lat and Uzza stood, they attacked an Arab tribe living there and captured the soldiers and their families. The captives, when brought before Rasulullah ﷺ, said, "O Rasulullah ﷺ, they attacked us without inviting us to Islam." When Rasulullah ﷺ questioned the battalion about this, they confirmed that it was true. Rasulullah ﷺ then said to them, "Allow them to return to their place of safety and then invite them to Islam." Hazrat Urwa bin Zubair radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that when the Ansar heard what Rasulullah ﷺ had to say, they became convinced and completely satisfied with his message. They believed in him and professed their iman. They therefore became one of the vehicles of good for mankind at large, and returned to their people after promising to meet Rasulullah ﷺ the following Hajj season. They then sent a message to Rasulullah ﷺ requesting him to send someone to them who would call people towards the Book of Allah, because this would cause people to accept more readily. Rasulullah ﷺ therefore sent Hazrat Musa bin Umair radiallahu ta'ala anhu, who belonged to the Banu Abduddar tribe. He stayed among the Banu Ghanam tribe with Hazrat Asad bin Zurara radiallahu ta'ala anhu. There he taught them the sayings of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and recited the Quran to them. Later, Hazrat Musa bin Umair radiallahu ta'ala anhu continued his dawah while staying with Hazrat Sa'ad bin Mu'ad radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Allah guided people at his hands until there was scarcely a home of the Ansar that did not have Muslims in it. Even the leaders of the Ansar accepted Islam, including Hazrat Amr bin Jamur radiallahu ta'ala anhu. The idols of the Ansar were broken, and Hazrat Musa bin Umair radiallahu ta'ala anhu returned to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam with the title of Al-Mukhri, that is, the mentor. The Banu Najr tribe pressurized Hazrat Musa bin Umair radiallahu ta'ala anhu's host, Hazrat Asad bin Zurara radiallahu ta'ala anhu, and Hazrat Musa bin Umair was forced to stay with Hazrat Sa'ad bin Mu'ad radiallahu ta'ala anhu. There he continued his dawah, and Allah guided people at his hands until there was scarcely a home of the Ansar that did not have Muslims in it. Another narration states that the Ansar sent Hazrat Mu'ad bin Afra radiallahu ta'ala anhu and Hazrat Rafi bin Malik radiallahu ta'ala anhu to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to send someone to them who would call people towards the Book of Allah, because this would cause people to accept more readily. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam therefore sent Hazrat Musa bin Umair radiallahu ta'ala anhu. The rest of the narration is similar to the one above. Hazrat Abu Umama radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam sent him to invite his people to Allah and to present the injunctions of Islam to them. When he arrived, his people had already watered their camels, milked them, and drunk the milk. When they saw him, they exclaimed, "Welcome, O Sudayy bin Ajlan. We heard that you have defected to that man," he replied. He replied, "I have rather believed in Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has sent me to present Islam and its injunctions to you." As they spoke, a platter of food was brought and placed before them. As they gathered around the platter to eat, they said, "Come and join us, O Sudayy." He responded by saying, "Shame on you! I have just come to you from someone who forbids this sort of food, save for those animals that you slaughter." They asked, "What has he to say?" Hazrat Abu Umama radiallahu ta'ala anhu told them that the following verse had been revealed in this regard. "Forbidden for you to eat is maita, blood that flows from an animal's body, the meat of pigs, the meat of those animals that were sacrificed for the slaughter of the taking of the name of another besides Allah, those animals that were strangled to death, that is, suffocated to death or drowned, those that were beaten to death, that is, died through injuries, those that fell to their deaths, those killed by collision, either by impact or after being gored by another animal, and those eaten by wild beasts, except that which you slaughter. Therefore, if an animal suffers any of the above injuries but dies only after being properly slaughtered, the animal's meat will be halal. Also forbidden for you are what the animal which has been slaughtered at the altars in the name of other gods besides Allah, and distribution by arrows." Surah Ma'idah, verse 3. Hazrat Abu Umama radiallahu ta'ala anhu says that as he invited them towards Islam, they kept it rejecting. He then said to them, "Shame on you, at least give me some water, for I am extremely thirsty." They responded by saying, "No, we shall not give you any water, but would rather leave you to die thirsty." He then tied his turban around his head and lay down on scorching sand. He narrates, "When I fell asleep, I saw a person come to me with a crystal glass, so beautiful as no one had ever seen. In the glass was a drink that no one has ever tasted a drink as delicious. He gave the glass to me and I drank from it. I woke up as soon as I had finished drinking, and I swear by Allah that after that I had never been thirsty, nor even known what thirst is. Subhanallah. Hazrat Ahnaf bin Qais radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that when he was once performing tawaf around the Kaaba, when a man from the Banu Layth tribe grabbed hold of his hand, saying, "Shall I not give you glad tidings?" When Hazrat Ahnaf bin Qais radiallahu ta'ala anhu asked to be informed, the person said, "Do you not remember the time when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam sent me to invite your tribe to Islam? When I presented Islam to them and invited them to accept, you said to me, 'You are inviting us towards something excellent. You are instructing us with a good thing, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is certainly calling towards something of great benefit.' When Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam heard about this, he said, 'O Allah, forgive Ahnaf.' It was on account of this that Hazrat Ahnaf radiallahu ta'ala anhu would always say, 'I have more hope in this dua of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam than any good act that I have carried out.' Imam Ahmad and Tabrani have reported this hadith thus: Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam sent me to convey the message of Islam to your tribe, the Banu Sa'd. It was you who said Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam speaks only good, or what I am hearing is only good. When I returned and informed Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam about what you said, he prayed thus: 'O Allah, forgive Ahnaf.' It was on account of this that Hazrat Ahnaf would always say, 'I have more hope in this dua of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam than any good act that I have carried out.' Hazrat Anas radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam once sent one of the sahaba to give dawah to a person who was influential during the period of ignorance. The person asked, 'What is your Rabb towards whom you call made of? Is he made of iron? Is he made of copper? Is he made of silver? Is he made of gold?' When the Sahabi radiallahu ta'ala anhu reported back to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam sent him back to repeat the invitation. However, the person repeated his remarks. When the Sahabi radiallahu ta'ala anhu reported back to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam the second time, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam sent him back for the third time. However, the person repeated his remarks yet again. When the Sahabi again reported to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, "Allah has struck your friend with a bolt of lightning that incinerated him." It was then that the following verse was revealed: Allah sends the bolts of lightning to strike whoever He wills while they are disputing about Allah. Allah is fiercely powerful. Surah Ra'd, verse 13. A report of Bazar states that the person was one of the tyrannical Arab leaders, and that the Sahabi said, "O Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he is more tyrannical than Pharaoh." This version of the report states that the Sahabi was still busy inviting the person to Islam for the third time when Allah sent a cloud above him that started to rumble with thunder. A bolt of lightning then emerged from the cloud and decapitated the man. Hazrat Abdullah bin Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam once summoned Hazrat Abdul Rahman bin Auf radiallahu ta'ala anhu and said to him, "Prepare yourself, because I want to send you out with a group." After some detail, the hadith continues to mention that Hazrat Abdul Rahman bin Auf left and met up with some other sahaba. They all then left together until they reached a place called Dawmatul Jandal. This was a fortress between Medina and Sham to which several villages were attached. When he arrived there, Hazrat Abdul Rahman bin Auf spent 3 days inviting the people to accept Islam. On the third day, their leader Asbagh bin Amr Kalbi radiallahu ta'ala anhu, who was a Christian, accepted Islam. Hazrat Abdul Rahman bin Auf sent a letter with a person from the Juhayna tribe called Rafi bin Makith radiallahu ta'ala anhu, reporting the events to him. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam wrote back to him with the instruction to marry the daughter of Asbagh. He therefore married her. This daughter of Asbagh was called Tumadir, from whom Hazrat Abdul Rahman bin Auf had a son called Abu Salma. Hazrat Abdul Rahman Tamimi radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam sent Hazrat Amr bin al-As out to encourage the Arabs to accept Islam. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam sent him to the Banu Bali tribe, because the mother of As bin Wa'il was from this tribe, and he would be able to identify with them. When he reached a watering place called Salasil, by which the Battle of Salasil got its name, which was situated in the territory of the Judham, He sensed danger and sent a message for Rasulullah ﷺ to dispatch the reinforcements to assist him. Rasulullah ﷺ then sent a battalion of the early Muhajirin under the leadership of Hazrat Abu Ubaidah bin Jarrah radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Among this battalion were the likes of Hazrat Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala anhu and Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Hazrat Bara bin Azib radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that he was among the group that Rasulullah ﷺ dispatched to Yemen under the leadership of Hazrat Khalid bin Walid radiallahu ta'ala anhu to invite the people of Yemen to Islam. They stayed there for 6 months, but no one was prepared to accept Islam. Thereafter, Rasulullah ﷺ sent Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu with instructions to relieve Hazrat Khalid bin Walid radiallahu ta'ala anhu and to send him back with his men except those who preferred to remain behind with Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Hazrat Bara bin Azib radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that he was one of those who remained behind with Hazrat Ali. When Hazrat Ali and the Muslims drew close to the people of Yemen, they also marched forward to meet the Muslims. Hazrat Ali then stepped forward and led the Muslims in Salah. Thereafter, he formed the Muslims into a single row, stepped forward in front of the Muslims and read out the letter that Rasulullah ﷺ had written. In response to this, the entire Hamdan tribe accepted Islam. Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu then wrote to her Rasulullah ﷺ to inform him that the Hamdan tribe had accepted Islam. When Rasulullah ﷺ read the letter, he fell into sajda and then lifted his head and prayed, "Peace be to the Hamdan, peace be to the Hamdan." Ibn Ishaq narrates that Rasulullah ﷺ once dispatched Hazrat Khalid bin Walid radiallahu ta'ala anhu to Najran with instructions to invite the Banu Harith to Islam for 3 days before engaging them in battle. Rasulullah ﷺ told him that if the people accept Islam, he should accept it from them. Otherwise, he should commence battle proceedings. Hazrat Khalid bin Walid left Medina, and when he arrived in Najran, he sent riders in every direction to meet the people and invite them to Islam, saying, "O people, accept Islam and remain in peace." Consequently, all the people accepted Islam and entered the deen they had been invited towards. Hazrat Khalid bin Walid radiallahu ta'ala anhu stayed with the people to teach them Islam, the Quran and the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, according to the directives that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam had given to him, in the event that the people accepted Islam without fighting. Hazrat Khalid bin Walid radiallahu ta'ala anhu wrote the following letter to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In the name of Allah, the Most Kind, the Most Merciful, to Muhammad, the Nabi and Rasul of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, from Khalid bin Walid. May peace be to you, O Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the mercy and blessings of Allah too. Before you, I praise Allah, besides whom there is none worthy of worship. O Rasul of Allah, may Allah shower His special mercies on you. You sent me to the Banu Harith tribe with instructions to invite them to Islam for 3 days without engaging them in battle. Your instructions were that I accept from them their conversion to Islam, after which I should teach them the injunctions of Islam, the Quran and the Sunnah of Allah's Nabi. Had they not accepted Islam, I was to engage in battle with them. When I arrived, I invited them to Islam for 3 days according to the instructions of Allah's Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and sent riders among them saying, "O Banu Harith, accept Islam and live in peace." They all accepted Islam without a fight, and I am presently among them, instructing them with that which Allah has instructed and forbidding them from that which had forbidden for them. I shall be teaching them the injunctions of Islam and the Sunnah of Allah's Nabi Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam until the Rasul of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam writes back to me with fresh instructions. May peace be to you, O Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the mercy and blessings of Allah.